Hi, welcome. Welcome to this week's Business Bite that is going to be about lead generation. So if you're watching this live, please let me know that you're here. If you watch this on the replay, please comment #replay. And for you who don't know me, my name is Angela. I'm a virtual event sales expert, and I help my clients design and launch virtual events, webinars, challenges, workshops, and sell their offer one-to-many with the capacity to sell one-to-many instead of selling one-to-one. And one thing that always comes up when it comes to running any kind of event, any kind of launches, webinars, masterclasses, workshop is the lead generation, right? How do I get the leads, or how do I attract the right kind of people? I only attract freebie seekers and things like that. So I want to break it down a little bit today. And then I want to invite you to our upcoming free workshop, Sales Made Simple, because that is really when we're going to dig deep into how do we actually generate leads for a workshop or for live launch or webinar. And today I want to touch how can we get the quality of the leads coming in, right? Because a lot of us, I think you can kind of maybe relate to this, that when you get people signed up, it's not always the right people, and they don't buy and they don't engage, and they kind of unsubscribe and things like that. And we have a kind of a struggle in attracting the right kind of people. So it all starts there. So of course there is, what I want to say to you is that you do not need more lead generation strategies, okay? There is no strategies in the world that is going to help you until your mindset is aligned with the millions of dollars that you want to make. Number one, your mindset needs to be aligned with the millions of dollars that you want to make. End of story, okay? But also when it comes to generating leads, they're going to come in through your content, through your social media, through your strategies, and they're going to end up on your Facebook profile, LinkedIn profile, somewhere on social media, and they are going to stay in your ecosystem, or they're going to move on. Which means when we struggle in generating leads, we usually have a struggle in positioning ourselves and be clear on who we help, how we help them, what kind of is different about me, what is my secret sauce, and kind of that positioning as the go-to expert, the go-to person. So when people end up on your social media, they get confused. And as soon as people get confused, they do nothing. So I want to touch both of this. So we're going to start a little bit about the mindset. And I talk about this so much because if you look at lead generation, we can sometimes, or we usually, when we struggle with lead generation, stand in our own way, because lead generation strategies are simple, okay? They are simple. There are massive amount of strategies that you can use. They are all simple. And what happens is that we kind of get in our own way. So we don't want to feel spammy. We don't want to talk about our business. We don't want to ask people to sign up. We don't want to feel in a certain way. And we make it all about us, right? But the lead generation is actually not about you. Because when we do lead generation for launches, for workshops, for webinars, we are actually being of service to people, because we're handing them access to a solution, because the workshop that you have built or the challenge that you have built actually going to solve the biggest problem that they have, right? So it's a service to invite people to come and join. But a lot of people don't see lead generation that way. They see it as some kind of strategy, that it's a strategic thing in your business, when it's actually not. It's all about serving your audience on the highest level, right? So you want to shift that mindset and understand that lead generation is actually of huge service to your market, because you're giving people access to solution. And your job as a service provider is to be out of service. And if you're not, you're missing the entire point here, right? So that is kind of the thing that everyone needs to change when it comes to lead generation, because we talk a lot about it when it comes to sales and having the right mindset when it comes to doing the work and stuff like that, but not so much when it comes to the lead generation part, right? Not a lot of coaches talk about lead generation as being of service to your audience. They talk about it as some kind of strategic part. Is it strategy? Yeah, but it's also mindset, right? So that is the kind of the key when it comes to doing any kind of lead generation. And then if we look at the quality of the leads, so here is what I really wanted to talk this session about, because I had a poll and a lot of people voted for I'm attracting the wrong kind of leads, right? That all is all in your messaging, right? All in how you position yourself, how you decide what you're going to own in the market, right? And when we see so many opportunities and so many people doing so many things, we get really drawn to all these kind of things. So we start changing. And I have people in my audience myself that I have seen have changed their messaging maybe 5 to 6 times just this year. Okay. And that is really commodity thinking, because if you want to kind of look at your business long term and take your business serious, you need to play on a level of legacy, a level of impact, right? And think long term when it comes to your message. It doesn't happen in a week. It doesn't happen in a month. It can take multiple months and even years to build a really, really strong personal brand and position yourself in a specific, helping a specific person with a specific thing. But if you change that all the time, and you will always struggle with lead generation, because there will always be the wrong people in your audience, because you need to give it time. So let's say we today decide that, okay, I'm going to help women over 40 lose weight, for an example. I start create content around that, start creating amazing content around that. And these women over 40, they're just starting to discover me. It's going to take a couple of weeks and they start discover me. They're going to start lurking around, look at my content. And then I feel like, oh, this isn't working. I'm going to change. And all of a sudden I change to weight loss for men over 40. It makes no sense. Now I'm starting over. So I'm actually going backwards before I go forwards. And all these women that were starting to like me, they were all of a sudden really confused. And they think, oh, I ended up in the wrong place. And they leave. So that is one huge problem when it comes to not attracting qualified leads. Any kind. Because you change your messaging because you think it doesn't work. When in reality, you need to stay consistent and frequent in whatever you decide that you're going to position yourself in, because it's going to take some time. Okay. But we are so chasing the instant gratification that we can't see long term. We can't play on a level of legacy or impact. We play on a level of commodity down here, instant gratification, right? Chasing. And that doesn't work. So that is number one. You need to give it time. And you need to be consistent in your message. Okay, who you help, how you help them, what is your secret sauce here, right? Because you help, let's say for me, I help my clients scale, but I do it with virtual events, webinars, masterclasses, challenges, those kind of thing, selling their offer one to many. That is where I want to position myself, right? So all my content is around that, as targeting entrepreneurs that are sick and tired of working one-to-one, selling their offer on a call one-to-one, and they need a system in place to sell their offer to a lot of people at the same time, right? Showcase their expertise to a lot of people at the same time. All my content is somehow tied back to that North Star. And that is how I help my clients scale, because there is a massive amount of different way of scaling, team building, funnels, right? Sales funnels. I don't work with that. So I can't create content around that, even if I know it's attractive, because what is going to happen is that I attract people that want to build sales funnels or build teams. And when I'm doing my launch or presenting my offer to these people, they're obviously not going to buy because they are not my people. They don't believe in my solution. My solution is not what they want to buy. They want to buy a different kind of solution. And I'm not put on earth, and neither are you, to convince people of your solution. But you need to present it so your entire social media presence needs to involve, so people understand, how do you actually help people go from A to B? It's not enough to say, I'm a weight loss coach. Yeah, there is a massive amount of weight loss coaches. Why are you so special? How do you help them? What is your secret sauce here? Right? So when you look at your message, it needs to kind of create that insight. It shouldn't take people more than seconds when landing on your profile to decide, are you for me? Are you a person that I want to follow? Is your content going to be valuable for me? Right? So you need to position your message and stay consistent in your messaging. You can't change it over and over because you're going to confuse your audience. As soon as people start to get to notice you, they're going to start a little bit follow you. You change and they leave. And you feel like, yeah, I need a new strategy. No, you don't. You don't need more strategies, okay? You don't need more strategies. We get so caught up that we need so many lead generation strategies when actually you don't. I encourage my client to use maybe 3 or 5 maximum. It's way better to master 3 strategies than be diluted and try to handle 50 strategies, right? You don't need another strategy. You need a clear message. Clear message, consistent. Okay, write that down. Clear message, consistent. And that is kind of what's going to help you grow an audience that makes sense, an audience that actually like what you do. But then we come down to the content, right? So we're going to put out content. What are we going to put out? Because if we just create one type of content, a copy and paste, whatever, yeah, we can't break through the noise. So the people that we want to target, even if we have a consistent message, they're not going to see us, right? So before we put in a lot of strategies when it comes to lead generation, we need to have the right content that attracts the right kind of person, the right lead, and repels the wrong ones. And that is where we mess up, because we look at other people and we see their posts go viral, okay? And we do the same post because we want a lot of people clicking on our things or commenting or sign up, whatever. But they're the wrong people. So when you try to sell to them, it's crickets because they're not your people, right? It's like filling your group with people that want to promote their own business. And you try to sell to them, they're not there for that, right? It's like I would have created a lot of content about ChatGPT because that obviously attracts people at the moment. They're not my people. I don't use ChatGPT. I don't teach it, right? It's not my thing. Which means if I would have done that just to get a lot of people, I would have crickets. But we get so caught up in what other people do. So you need to look within, right? And I'm going to give you three layers of content that you want to create, because what is important that usually you hear content is king. And I so disagree, because I believe that content that converts is king, because I could put out a shit ton of content that builds nothing, that converts into nothing. It's just noise. I'm just adding more noise to the market, right? And that is where you want to kind of move away from. So you want to create content that converts, either converts to attract people in, or it converts them to take some sort of action inside your ecosystem, signing up for your launch, joining your Facebook group, download a freebie, right? And then content that takes these people that are in the ecosystem into paying clients, right? But the lead generation starts to attract the people. And one part of the content that you need to create is educational content, teaching people, sharing value, tips, tricks, whatever you want to call it, value posts, where you actually help people, right? You actually help them in your content. The second content you want to push out is content that gives people hope that they can do this as well. We call it inspirational content. And I'm not talking about copy and paste, these kind of quotes. I'm talking about you actually sharing stories about your clients, sharing your own stories, telling them it's okay if you're stuck here. This is what we did, and look at this now. You want to give your people hope that if they are stuck and they think they can't do it, they have limiting beliefs, they have imposter syndrome, whatever, you want to bring them hope that they can move on, okay? And storytelling is a huge part of that. And if you become really good at storytelling, you're going to engage a massive audience, okay? The last part of the content is where you want to really repel the wrong ones. This is where you take a statement and you talk about your solution being superior. I'm not talking about you burning other strategies down or other ways down, because that makes no sense, right? So you want to kind of do this. You can see some kind of polarizing out there. That is not what I'm talking about, because you want to kind of stand behind and explain why you so strongly believe in your own solution. So I could do a post telling people sales funnels doesn't work. Yeah, it's a polarizing. If I would just write that, I would burn that down. And we obviously know that sales funnels work, right? But I can use it to explain my own solution. So it could be something like sales funnels doesn't work. Hear me out. Do you really want to craft all this tech, all these walls between you and your audience, whatever over here? I know a better way, and it's my way. Let's run a challenge. That is where you really build a connection with your audience. It's simple. It doesn't cost you anything. It's this and that and that. So I'm actually telling people what is wrong with the market without burning it down. And then I present my way of doing things. What happens is that the people that strongly believe that that way is the better way, the sales funnels in my example, they're going to leave. And it's a good thing, because I am not going to be able to convert them. I'm not put on earth to convince them not to do funnels. If they want to do funnels, go and do funnels, but I am not for you. It's a good thing. People are so afraid to repel people because they think they're going to stop grow. It's the vice versa. You are not, don't try to convince people. Let them go out and do their thing. If that doesn't work out for them, who are they going to think about? You. Because you create a top of mind awareness. They will never forget you. They will never forget the person that said to them, don't go down that road. And they did it anyway. So they're going to think about you, right? And it also attracts the people that believe in my solution, that think, oh yeah, I would like to run a challenge. I would like to be able to sell my offer one-to-many doing a challenge. I don't want to do a sales funnels. I don't want to do that techie part. What is going to happen that they're going to come over to my ecosystem and they're going to stay. And when I do a launch, they're already believers of my solution, so they're easier to close. Those are qualified leads, right? And the reason why we do launches instead of a massive amount of sales calls is that we want to qualify them even more. Do I do calls? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I believe everyone should do calls. People want to speak to you. If someone is going to take up their hard-earned cash and give you $5,000 or $3,000 of their money they have been working and saving, the least you can do is to offer them to speak to you, right? So I offer calls. But what happens in a challenge, for an example, is that a lot of people don't need that call because they're already pretty qualified when they join. You build the like, know, and trust through the event in itself, right? And they trust you enough to click and buy on 10, 15, even $20,000, right? So you're going to replace all the unqualified calls, the tire kickers, right? That book a call, but they're not ready, but they book the call anyway because they think you're going to give them some strategies so they can start working on, right? So they book the call anyway. Those are the ones that you want to remove. So the only one that is going to book the call from that event, they're already ready. They might want to ask a question. They might want to ask something that you haven't, that didn't come out in the launch and they couldn't join the Q&A session, whatever. They might be a little bit scared still. They might have an objection. They might have limiting beliefs or a mindset block or something like that, right? But you're going to replace massive amount of those unqualified calls that we have because you don't want to spend time on unqualified people. Makes no sense. But if you make sure that you set up your social media presence to only attract the right kind of people that you actually want to work with, repel the wrong ones, running some kind of event where you take them through a journey, where you present your solution, where you make them, convince them, or take them on a journey to take them from uncertain to certain that your solution is superior. I so believe in you. I trust you. I trust you for you to take me from A to B. It's going to skyrocket your conversion rate. But it all starts with the content, because that is where your leads comes in, right? And some people struggle with lead generation and they say, yeah, but I go out and I post in all the groups and I click on their name and I end up on a locked profile. Makes no sense. Or I land on a profile that talks about nothing about what I'm interested in, nothing about what you said in that post you did in that group. Makes no sense, right? So wherever you lead them, wherever you are out with your profile, with your page, whatever you use, you're going to get people click on you. That's going to happen. They're going to click on your name. They're going to check you out. And when they check you out, you need to make sure they understand if you are for them or not. That is where you take them from non-qualified at all to a pretty qualified lead, right? That is why the quantity of your audience doesn't count. Because I can have 1 million people in my audience and they all want to build sales funnels, which means I would convert 0. Doesn't help me if I have 1 million people. So move away from looking at the numbers of your audience and look about who am I actually attracting? Who do I want to attract? How can I create content that makes sure that I repel all the other people and only attract people that want to work with me? That is where it starts. That is where you kind of separate your leads. And then, of course, they sign up for your launch and you need to separate them again. We have 3 lists where we put leads in the launches, but that is not something that I'm going to talk about today, because I really wanted to highlight that you don't need another strategy. You need better content on your profile, your page, right? You need better content that actually speak to the person that you want to work with. You don't need other people. Don't go out and do a post about ChatGPT if you do not teach ChatGPT. Makes absolutely no sense, because you're going to attract people that are not your people. Write about what is about you, your solution, how you help people, right? Make the content about your audience, their struggles, their frustrations, their fears, and how you can help them overcome this, how you can help them from A to B. Give them value, give them tips, tricks to make them move forward. Make them feel that you show up everywhere and they can't stop thinking about you, right? That kind of feeling. So it all starts with going and position yourself. So I'm going to have a little homework for you to do in this business bite. You're going to go to your own social media, the one that you use to do the lead generation part, right? Your business part. Ask yourself, is it super clear when people land on my social media who I am, what I do, right? Who I am, who I help, how I help them, what is the result that people are going to get when they work with me, and what is so special about me? What is my secret sauce here? Is it super clear? If I click on your name, will your profile tell me who you are, who you help, the result that you give people, and what's so special about you? What is your secret sauce? How do you actually help people from A to B, and why? Can I start scroll a little bit and find this out without spending more than let's say 5 seconds, but I mean, 5 seconds going to be really quick, right? But that is sometimes all the time that you have, right? People are not going to start looking, start reading or opening or whatever. They're going to quick scroll a little bit. If it's not for them, they're going to leave, right? So that is kind of the homework. That is where you start separating people in your audience. Not for you, for you, okay? And we're going to talk more about this. We're going to talk more about the positioning, because it all starts here. And people get so eager on the strategies. I want to scale. I want to do this and that, when they don't have the foundation in part. You cannot run any kind of webinar if you have the wrong people inside. No one is going to buy, right? You can't run a workshop if you don't have an offer that actually solves the problem of the person that you want to work with. It's not going to convert, right? So there is foundation that needs to be in place for all these strategies to actually work. You don't need more strategies. You need to go back and simplify whatever you are doing to look at the basic, right? The basic of the business. And it's all about the mindset. It's all about the positioning, understanding your market, doing the content that attracts the right kind of people. It's all about the offer. Am I actually solving the urgent need of the market? The market changed. Do I actually solve the problem that is on top of my dream client's mind? Right? And then, do I have a system in place to sell it one to many? Because you can't keep on selling one here, one there, one there. It's not a scalable business. You need to have a system in place to sell your offer to many people at the same time, right? And of course, you also need to do sales between those kind of events. Let's say we run a monthly, not a monthly, 6 to 8 times a year, we run a challenge. Well, the time between, you need to have content that convert clients in between here, right? That it builds the right audience. So when we run the next one, you always get new people in, because if you don't get new people in every single day, you're going to stop grow, because you're going to run out of people to sell to. You can't keep on selling to the same people over and over and over again, because you're going to stop grow. What's going to happen? Those are fundamentals. If you don't have that in place, that is where you need to go back and start building it the right way, okay? And in the upcoming Sales Made Simple, we're going to talk about all this, because this is no kind of complicated tech, expensive tools, fancy equipment, fancy whatever. Nothing about that. This is simplicity. This is things that doesn't cost you anything. This is things that should be in place before you do the large investment in funnels, in camera, in whatever you want to invest in. These are the fundamentals, right? That we usually skip, because we look at people that earn 7 figures and they go out and ask you, do you want to earn 7 figures? I have the right strategy for you. But without having the fundamentals in place, that strategy is not going to work. And if you look at that person and you look back what they did when they were where you were, they did launches, right? And they usually still do, but they look a little bit different. But they did work on the fundamentals, their messaging, their mindset, their offers, right? The lead generation strategies, their content, their marketing. It doesn't cost you anything. It's not the strategy. It's the fundamentals, okay? So sign up for the workshop. I'm going to share it in the comments below. And we start the 19th of June. It's Monday to Friday, 5 main sessions, and then we run through 2 bonus sessions and 1 Q&A sessions, okay? So that is the entire, you're going to get a workbook, and we're going to stream into the Facebook group. But if you want the workbook, the bonus sessions, we're going to send out 1 extra bonus session tomorrow. It's a training that I did that is called 300 Leads in 30 Days that you're going to get access to tomorrow if you are signed up, okay? The next week, we have another bonus session sent out to make you as successful as possible throughout our workshop. And then we kick in the workshop. You're going to get a workbook that is going to help you build out these 5 blocks, the fundamentals in your business, okay? If you want these 3 things, you need to sign up, okay? Because it's only for people that are signed up. Because if it's important for you to simplify, to multiply, to make sales simple, to fall in love with sales, to have a system in place to sell your offer to many people at the same time, it's 5 days, okay? 1 hour per day. Dedicate that to that time, okay? So sign up on the link below. So next week, we're going to continue talking about scale with simplicity and how to make sales simple and how to kind of change the entire mind we have when it comes to selling, okay? Because I talk about it a lot, and I want everyone that want to join the workshop to be as prepared as possible to get the most out of that workshop, okay? So tomorrow, next week, same time, same place, of course, in my Facebook group, we run the Business Bites. So thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.